get her to sign. World record.
You guys ready?
Yeah. I think the staff is happy.
10.5 minutes. Go.
I'll call to order tonight's Fishers Plan Commission for May 4th, 2022. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Stewart. Here. Mr. Zimmerman. Mr. Fain.
Here.
Ms. Logan.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Mr. Moulter.
Here.
Ms. Stoller.
Here.
Mr. Richards.
Here.
Ms. Lang.
Here.
And Mr. Stevenson.
Here.
Thank you.
We do have a quorum to conduct tonight's meeting. I will entertain a motion for approval of the April 13th, 2022 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Kay, for the record, I will recuse myself in that I was not in attendance for that meeting. All those in favor of approving the minutes, use the voting sign aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. The first matter on our agenda today is SP-1711-64. It's the City of Fishers requesting to void Pessamon Woods at Hamilton Proper Section 2 secondary plat. The recorded secondary plat was mistakenly approved with improper access to the property. Hamilton County Recorder, Indiana, instrument number 20180025597, and we'll hear from staff.
Yes, good evening, Plan Commission members. Megan Vukasich with the Planning and Zoning Department. So this item before you is to vote to void a formally approved secondary plat. So this is an item that you likely have not seen before. Staff did approve a plat for Persimmon Woods at Hamilton Proper Section 2 back in 2017. At that time, we were led to believe that the site had proper access through a private drive, but we have since that approval been notified that that access is not permitted. And so we're asking for Plan Commission to vote to void that plat. So this is located here in Hamilton Proper. It's Persimmon Woods at Hamilton Proper. This shows a zoomed in version of that subdivision within that larger area. So the area that we're talking about tonight is identified in blue here. So you can see that there is a private 300-yard drive in a cul-de-sac at the end of it. And then also there's Hawthorne Ridge, which is the public street that also abuts this parcel. So what had been formally approved was access off of that private 300-yard drive, and identified here in yellow is a non-access easement. And so this property, staff was led to believe, did have the proper access off of 300-yard drive. However, since then we've been made aware that this property is not agreed to be a part of that HOA, and so they are not given proper access through that private street. And so really we need to now void this secondary plat to allow access for this parcel. So that would be through Hawthorne Ridge, which is the public street. So it's really removing that non-access easement along that public right-of-way. We would come back with the secondary plat, not before Plan Commission, but through our Technical Advisory Committee, which is what the typical process that secondary plats go through. And so staff would review it at that time for compliance with the zoning ordinance. But really we're bringing this all before you tonight just because it is an atypical case, and thought that since Plan Commission is the body that approves primary plats, that we should hold a public hearing to discuss this matter and vote to just void that approval. So that would be staff's recommendation. This is an item being brought by the City of Fishers. And then we also have a resolution that is required to be signed if voted to approve this tonight.
Thank you. Any questions of staff?
There have been conversations with the landowner?
Yes, so we've been in conversations with them probably for over a year now. We've asked them to resolve the matter with the HOA. No resolution has been made, and then we notified them both of the public hearing tonight, both the HOA and the property owner. So I would say the property owner is in favor of this. I don't want to speak on their behalf, but in my conversations with them, currently they don't have access to the site, legal access.
So would you say that both the landowner and the HOA are in agreement?
There is a representative of the HOA here tonight, so I can let them speak during the public hearing.
At this time, I will open the public hearing. If we have someone who wants to address the board on this matter, please approach the podium and state your name and your address for the record.
Thank you, sir. Stephen Earnhardt. I am here as a representative of Thrasher, Bushman, and Vogel. I represent the Homeowners Association, Hamilton Proper Community Association, Inc., which is the blanket homeowners association for a variety of different neighborhoods within the Hamilton Proper community. We would actually join in staff's recommendation. I filed a declaratory judgment action back in March of 2000, naming as one party the City of Fishers for approval of this secondary plat. The problem arises because this real estate is not in Hamilton proper and is not in Persimmon Woods. And the applicant at the time, though well aware of that, chose to, I think, conceal that information from the planners, and thus it got approved. So yes, we are seeking that this secondary plat that got approved in 17 be voided as well.
Thank you, Mr. Earnhardt.
Sure. What, any questions of me? Sir, I believe you had a question. All right.
Hi, I'm Kelly Baumgartner. I live in Persimmon Woods, and we have tried to speak with the owner about becoming a part of our 300-yard drive, Persimmon Woods, and he has absolutely no interest in it whatsoever. So that's why we're here. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I will close the public hearing. I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Kay, roll call, please.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Fain.
Yes.
Ms. Logan. Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Moulter.
Aye.
Ms. Stoller. Mr. Richards.
Yes.
Ms. Lang. Yes. And Mr. Stevenson.
Yes, the motion carries.
Great, and before we move on to the next item, just because we do have a document that needs to be signed, Kay is going to go ahead and pass that around to you all before the meeting is over tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I'll call the next matter. It's matter number TA-22-1, consideration of a text amendment to various sections of the Unified Development Ordinance, the UDO, and we have staff again for proceeding on that.
Yes, so the item is for an update to the Unified Development Ordinance. We'll be making updates to the sign standards and then also incorporating sign variance criteria for when the BZA does review and approve or make decisions on sign variances. And so this is really a cleanup item for us to update the Unified Development Ordinance. We did receive one public comment, which was forwarded to you all. This is from a resident in Indianapolis, so they are not a Fishers resident, but they had asked for some additional text to be added as it relates to conservation areas. We did review that with our legal counsel, and we feel like that's not a necessary addition to the text. It already covers public open space, and so we're good with it as proposed. And so we would just ask that you guys make a favorable recommendation to City Council to go ahead and adopt these UDO text amendments as staff has presented them.
Thank you. Any comments of staff? And Megan, I guess I have just one question. Would this be consistent with the United States Supreme Court case that was handed down maybe 2 weeks ago, the Austin case from Texas?
Yes, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I would open the public hearing at this time. If there's anyone here to address this matter, you can approach the podium. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, make a favorable recommendation to City Council.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stewart. Mr. Fain. Ms. Logan. Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Moulter. Ms. Stoller. Mr. Richards. Ms. Lang. Mr. Stevenson.
Yes, the motion carries. I don't believe we have any old business. Staff communications?
Just some updates from City Council. So they did approve Abbott Commons, which was the Lennar subdivision that was proposed north of 136th Street. So that is moving forward. They also saw a change of large-scale tenants. So if you all remember last year, we adopted a new UDO standard that if any large-scale tenant was changing uses, that it would require council approval. And so we saw our first one at council last month, which was for Mission Christian Academy. They are a school, and so that use was going into an old publishing company right near 37, and so that did get approved. And then we saw several annexations, and we'll just continue to see annexations, especially with taking over the Fisher Sewer district. We're going to see more annexations just as people connect to sewers. So that's going to be a theme, I would say, over the next 5 years.
Thank you. Thanks for the update. No other agenda items I would entertain. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Good job.